Today's encounter starts like any ordinary UK audit. A camera, a drone, and a curious citizen. But within minutes, it transforms into a confrontational clash over rights, airspace, and one officer's shaky grasp of the Terrorism Act. This body cam moment spirals fast as a simple question becomes a legal standoff, leaving one side armed with knowledge, and the other armed with assumptions. Stay with me, because what unfolds here is a perfect example of how quickly authority can overreach when it's not backed by the law.
Sorry.
And asking you politely,
okay,
please don't fly the drone over the building.
Okay, so
you could be liable to be searched under the Terrorism.
Okay, so what part of that act says that flying a drone, as isn't required to by law, falls into the Terrorism Act?
Common sense, don't you think?
No, it's not. Hold on, you've just cited the Terrorism Act.
Yes.
Okay?
Yes.
So what part of the Terrorism Act says that I can't fly a drone over the airspace above your building?
Oh, all police buildings, all buildings that
right, I get what you're saying, but if you're saying
detrimental effect for someone. Well, I'm not,
right,
you don't look like you are, but I don't know. You could be someone who's looking
to
cause trouble.
Don't interrupt. Obviously, you're recording.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, which you're entitled to do.
Yeah.
I don't have my body cam on me. I've identified myself, so I'm going to record you as well.
Is that a personal phone?
Yeah, well, they can take. Is that a personal phone?
Yeah, but you're under GDPR regulations, so you need to make sure you make a copy of that available if I request it.
Yep. As would be the
But I don't have a problem if you film me. It's totally fine. Just so.
Here we go. The first pivot point. The officer jumps straight to security risk without articulating any actual law. In UK regulations, especially with sub 250 grams drones, suspicion alone isn't grounds to restrict flight. Watch how the auditor stays calm, asking for the specific clause that prohibits what he's doing. This is textbook auditing. Force clarity, not conflict. When officers fall back on vague phrases like common sense, it often signals they don't have the statutory backing they think they do.
Yeah, if I'm free to go. If I'm free to go, then I'm free to stay. Okay? It's as simple as that.
You're free to go.
Right, you've cited the terrorism legislation, but you've not told me what part of that legislation that I may be...
Can I speak, please?
Of course you can.
You are being detained under the Terrorism Act.
Okay, what part of the Terrorism Act?
Well, I believe it's section 43.
Okay, and what are your grounds for that?
You're flying a drone, you've been very obstructive to us.
Okay.
I'm trying to have a conversation.
Is that grounds?
I'm trying to give you...
No, you stop, you're infringing on my rights at the moment.
Can I please...
Okay, and you're misusing legislation, and you're going to make yourself party to a civil claim. And then there'll be professional standards involved.
I would rather be safe than sorry. You're flying an aircraft over a police building.
Correct. Technically, I didn't go over the police building. No, I won't let you finish because you're infringing on my rights at the moment.
Ferguson. I'm based at Bow Mounted Branch Stables. I've shown you my warrant card, yet again, because obviously you're going to want to see it again. There is my warrant card. Okay, I've told you you're being searched.
You're not talking about being searched.
Right, you're detained.
You're unlawfully searching me.
I'm not unlawfully.
You're unlawfully searching me. Why are you grabbing me like that?
The first red flag. Common sense. That phrase is the ultimate legal red herring. When an officer says, "It's just common sense," it often means they don't have an actual statute to...
This is where legal precision becomes everything. Mentioning the Terrorism Act carries weight, but Section 43 requires reasonable suspicion of terrorism, not just filming or flying a drone. The auditor immediately asks the right question. Which part? And the hesitation from the officer is telling. When police rely on legislation they can't cite, the power shifts. The auditor's calm insistence on specifics exposes the weak foundation of the stop, and the officer begins to show signs of frustration.
No, we have.
Yes, you have.
Absolutely.
What part of Section 43?
I'm not going to explain it.
No, because you can't explain it, and you've not explained it.
I'm not going to.
You've abused the legislation, mate.
You're just being a complete
100%.
idiot.
But you know what? Keep doing it, because it will be the exact same way with Section 44, and it will get repealed. And as I say, you guys have had it bad enough already. You're not making it easier on yourself. Over 800 officers being investigated.
What's that got to do with your drone being flown?
Because what I'm saying is, yeah, you had an opportunity to come up to me and have a decent conversation.
We tried.
And we could have educated you.
We tried.
But you've decided to misuse the legislation.
We tried.
You've not listened to what I've said.
Tried.
And you've abused my rights.
From the moment I arrived.
No, because you came out with Section 43
and this is where we are.
Nah, you misused the legislation, and as you can see...
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Well, that could be any website.
It's from the CAA, so it's fine.
I don't know what
it's
they
fine, because see when it's got her ID with on the drone...
We would do exactly the same if we were police officers.
When she came up and interrupted me from flying the drone, I said to her, I'm flying an aircraft, give me a minute and I'll land it, and I landed it straight away, did I not? There you go then. So I know what I'm talking about. You don't, you haven't got a clue.
What about all these private...
Where's my ID? Let me go.
You're going to get your ID in a second.
What about all the private windows?
Sorry. The reason that you were stopped is because you're flying the drone.
Yes, it was.
No,
it's on camera.
It's not.
Well, so what is it then?
Oh my God. You're not listening.
So I says to you, if I go out the pavement and fly my drone from there, is that okay? And you went, no. Is that not what I said? Is that not what I said? Is that not what I said? If that's the case, I'll go out on the pavement over there and I'll bring the drone back up and put it back over your building.
Why would you do that when we've just explained the reasons why?
Is that not what I said?
You're clearly not going to let me...
No, because you're chatting nonsense.
I'm not...
Yeah.
Here's a critical escalation. Moments ago, he was free to go. Now he's suddenly detained. That contradiction alone raises red flags. Under Section 43, detention must be based on clear, articulable suspicion tied to terrorism, not tone, attitude, or drone usage. The auditor is absolutely correct to challenge this shift. When officers flip between freedom and detention without lawful grounds, they risk unlawful imprisonment claims, and professional standards take these contradictions seriously.
Otherwise, I will use reasonable force to escort you off the private property.
And if you do that, that's fine. I will not resist. I will not fight back. But then you'll have another civil claim.
No, because it will be reasonable.
Do you want to bet? Listen, 100%.
You're so angry.
Because look at the state office. These have used Section 43 illegally to stop and search me illegally.
At the very beginning. If that was me...
Don't touch my stuff. Don't touch my stuff.
Put it back. Please.
No, put it back on the floor.
Right, we're going. Come on, we're going to leave. We're going, sir. Thank you.
No, so reasonable force, yeah.
Off private property.
It's not private property. Who owns the police? Who pays for the police?
Not you.
No, actually I do. My taxes pay for the police.
Okay.
So I'm going to go on the pavement and I'm going to lift my drone up there. Then what? Then what are you going to do? I'm now on public, aren't I? So I stand on the pavement. What are you going to do then?
Please go.
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Okay, you can stay here. But you're not...
This is where the situation crosses into dangerous territory for the officers. Physical contact during a Section 43 stop requires lawful justification. And because the officer still hasn't articulated a specific suspicion or section of the law, the search is on legally thin ice. The auditor points out the consequences: civil claims, CPS reviews, internal investigations. These aren't empty threats. They're grounded in past cases where misuse of terrorism powers led to costly payouts and disciplinary actions.
You've not got a clue.
Well, why are you being like this?
Because you've illegally stopped and searched me under 43 Terrorism Act.
Common sense.
It's not common sense.
Fly
Listen,
a drone over a government building because of security
let me
reasons.
just inform you something.
You could
so
be
you keep
going
talking
back
over me, you muppet. Shut up. Shut up. How about that?
You could be
Shut your
going
mouth.
back
Shut
to
up.
a terrorist organisation, for all I know, to give them information about certain buildings.
So do you suspect me of being a terrorist? Do you suspect me of being a terrorist?
Well, maybe.
Do you?
This moment flips the power dynamic completely. By asking whether the officer's phone footage is GDPR compliant, the auditor reveals a procedural gap many officers overlook. Police can record, yes, but how they store that footage and whether it's accessible upon request matters under data protection law. The officer clearly wasn't prepared for that line of questioning, and you can see the tension rise as the auditor methodically exposes every procedural misstep.
And the CPS will turn and say we've nothing to charge him with, because they'll know the legislation and they'll say what he was doing was perfectly legal. So lock me up. I want you to, because at the end of the day, it is you that will suffer when the professional standards. Yeah, 100% it will. Professional standards will come knocking.
We are just doing our jobs.
No, you're not. You're abusing the legislation, sir. What part of Section 43? You've still not answered the question I asked ages ago. What part of Section 43 doesn't allow me to fly a drone?
You can fly a drone.
Right. So you just told me I can't.
Fine, but over a government building.
Right, so what part of legislation says I can't do that?
Security.
Tell me the legislation.
It's a security risk.
Wait, is your building secure?
Yes.
Well, then you've not got a problem then, have you?
No.
On the airspace.
You could
do you own the airspace?
Are you mapping it for a terrorist organisation?
Who owns the airspace?
Are you mapping it for a terrorist
Stop
organisation?
chatting nonsense, man.
Well, you're chatting nonsense.
Use your common sense. You said it to
You
me.
use your common sense.
Why are you shouting at me, public servant?
Why are you shouting
Wind
at
your
me?
neck in. Wind your neck in. Jog on, go and do your job.
Sir.
Yeah, you don't like
I'm
it.
going to do my job.
You don't like
I'm
it.
going to ask you to move
no,
on.
I'm free to go. I'm free to stay. How about that?
No.
Yes,
Jog on.
it's a public
You jog
place.
on.
You jog on. See you later.
We have been nothing but nice
You've
to you.
just
You're the
abused
one who's been
Section
rude and
43.
obnoxious.
You've abused Section 43 of the legislation, and she felt me up.
I didn't fill you up. I'm the one that
Shut
searched
up.
you, okay? So if you're going to have a problem...
See you later, Muppet. Told you would leave before me. Bye.
Well, I'll be back in a minute then.
Love you. See ya. Bye.
By this point, the breakdown is complete. The officer relies entirely on emotion while the auditor stays rooted in legislation. Phrases like common sense and security aren't legal grounds. They're placeholders for missing knowledge. And when the officer refuses to identify the specific law prohibiting drone flight, the credibility gap becomes undeniable. The auditor's calm, even mocking tone only widens it. This is a classic example of frustration replacing procedure, and every misstep is now on camera.